We look at every single comment that comes through, and about a year ago I actually got a comment from a woman, and she ended up emailing me later talking about how most of the people that watch my channel are men, and she was having a hard time with her husband and the way he was treating her. So she asked, would you make a video on how men should treat their wives? Being that we're God, family, and guns, the family part definitely comes into play here, so I think it's fair too. And I thought a lot about that because it was over a year ago. But to be quite honest, if you took every single thing that I know about women and you put it in a book, what you'd have is a book filled with blank pages. Every time I think I understand it, I just completely do not understand what's in their heads and what's going on. And so I really didn't feel like I would do a very good job of making a video like that. Now, I have a very dear friend of mine who recently passed away just a few months ago, and he had spent 50 years of his life married, and his wife in the last decade had started to get a degenerative neurological disease, and he really just dedicated his life to taking care of her, and he was really one of the most awesome husbands I've ever met in my life. And I really was inspired by him, and I learned a lot from him, and I kind of brought this question up to him, and I really wish I could film him right now doing this video and answer his question, because he's a better expert than I am. But he did give me a little bit of advice. And on top of that, I sat there with my wife and kind of asked her, you know, what is it that it would take to make you happy? What kind of things would make a wife content and happy and just be thrilled to be married to the man she's with? So here's my top 5 list of things that will make your wife happy. Number 1, cleaning. I know it sounds silly, but it is an absolute truth. My wife tells me that I'm the most sexiest when I'm doing the dishes. I think that's kind of nonsense, her way of manipulating me, but so be it. I really love this. More so, on the weekends, my wife gets really stressed out about how behind she is, and just this anxiety starts to take her over. And oftentimes what resolves that is taking some time and cleaning up the house, and then it all just kind of vanishes. Now, I brought that up to several friends of mine, and they all agree they have the same experience. So the number 1 thing is cleaning. We're talking dishes, vacuuming, cleaning. For some reason, you become a cleaning man, your wife is going to love the heck out of you. Number 2, communicating love on a regular basis through texts, messages, phone calls, notes, etc. Women love that. Even back when I was in college and I dated, long before texts or emails came about, women just love getting notes. It's something that they thrive on. And my wife, if I don't text her several times throughout the day, she starts to get angry at me. More so, if she's messaged me and she sees that I read it and I don't message her back, she gets even more angry. And the reason is that she tells me she doesn't feel very loved. Now, I believe that God nailed it with this one when he said, men, love your wives, and wives, honor your husbands, because husbands, men, our desire is really to be honored. We'll take that over love any day, and women, their desire is to be loved. So just showing ways of love through those little tiny things like messages, text messages, just saying I love you, keep them happy all the time. Number 3, fixing up the house. Fixing up the house is kind of a big deal, because your house will just fall apart around you, and that'll drive your wife crazy. Fixing up the house is significant. Just doing those little tiny repairs. I am not a very handy man. So sometimes for me, fixing up the house is I call a repairman in. I'm just being honest, I'm just not a very handy person. Some things I can fix, some things I can't. But this last weekend, I was out changing the light bulbs outside on the deck, and it just made my wife so incredibly happy just to simply have those light bulbs changed. Little tiny things make a big difference, so fixing up the house will always keep her happy. Number 4, listening to her and understanding and giving empathy. I'm about the worst person on the planet at this. I've learned and grown a lot over the last several years on giving empathy, but it's something about just simply listening and telling your wife that must be very difficult, this thing that you're going through. Or telling her that's terrible that you had to endure that thing. Just giving those empathetic sentences and showing that you care about what she cares about, because that's really all she wants in the end. And finally, number 5, making her feel safe and secure. This means a lot of different things. Just simply having a man protect her is a big deal to a woman. It's It's a very big deal. And helping her feel secure is very significant, but it doesn't just mean bodily force or being able to protect her body. It also means making her feel secure financially. And oftentimes just talking about finances or showing her that you care about finances or trying to come up with a plan to improve your finances, this is a struggle. I don't care who you are, you have this struggle. I have this struggle, my wife has this struggle, but I feel more secure than she does because it's just an anxiety that she has, and I don't think she's alone. I think it's a common feature that many women have. I think when it comes down to it, it's the most innate feature that women have is this desire to feel secure financially, to know that she has resources to provide for herself, her children, etc. It's just a basic biological need. And making them feel safe and secure will absolutely win the hearts of your wives. So there you go, there's my top 5 list of how to make your wives happy. I know there's all sorts of stuff I didn't mention, and chances are after making this video I'm going to find out I'm wrong on all of them. But again, you put everything I know about women in a book, you got a book filled with blank pages. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. We're now selling God, Family, and Guns t-shirts and hats, and we'll put that link below. If you feel called to support this channel through Patreon, our Patreon link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so never hesitate to send that stuff in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns, and as always, love God, love your family, love guns.